Hello, this is Olivier from BoostMyShop. In this video, I'm going to explain how to create suppliers, set their parameters and finally associate products to your suppliers. You can access Supplier Management from the menu Purchasing Suppliers. By default, you won't have any suppliers, except perhaps with a PrestaShop integration, as PrestaShop allows you to create suppliers and associate them with products, and myFulfillment will be able to synchronize this automatically. We will first look at how to create a supplier and what information is necessary to fill in for a supplier, and finally we will look at how to associate a product with a supplier. To create a supplier from the Supplier menu, click on the Add New Supplier button. In my case, I will take example of an existing supplier to show you the information. I land in the Supplier Information, under the General tab. I will find the following details. The name of the supplier. Supplier's code, which is optional and is used to import-export. Name of the primary contact. Supplier's email address. This email is important as it is the one that will be used when you notify your supplier of an order. Website is optional. Locale language. It will be used to translate the email and the PDF sent to the supplier. Status allows you to deactivate a supplier so that it is no longer visible on various screens. Further down, we will find the supplier's address, which will be printed on the supplier's order form. I go back up to the settings section where I will find the minimum of order and carriage free amount, which are currency values. These values create an alert to be displayed on the purchase order if, for example, your purchase order is below 100 euros. At that point, you will simply get an alert. It is important to know that these alerts are not blocking, so you can very well place a purchase order with an amount of, for example, 50 euros. The notion of global discount will allow you to apply a discount rate to the base price of the products. We will come back to this notion later. The supplier's currency is significant. When creating a new purchase order, this order will automatically inherit the currency associated with the supplier. The tax rate is the default product tax percentage. As soon as you add a product to the purchase order, it will inherit this tax percentage. The supply delay and the shipping delay are quite important. By adding up these two pieces of information, myFulfillment will know the duration in days to receive the products from the supplier. This will be discussed mainly in the Supply Needs feature. The payment terms and shipping instructions are merely informative. I now go to the Contacts tab. There are three possible contacts: sales, accounting, and after sales, which will simply allow you to fill in the database. In the Notifications tab, you can define how you will notify your suppliers for your purchase orders. By default, myFulfillment sends an email. It is possible to automatically change the status of the purchase order once the supplier has been notified. In my case, once I notify an order, the order status will change to expected. Attach PDF will attach the PDF of the purchase order to the email. You can also attach a CSV or XML file. We will come back to this in a few moments, and we also have the possibility of uploading this file to an FTP if, for example, your supplier asks you to upload all these orders by electronic data interchange or EDI. The section below allows you to manage the group notifications feature. The principle is the following: when you are going to notify an order to the supplier, the notification will not go out immediately if you have enabled the group notifications. Here, for example, I configure the system by saying, at 8 a.m., you send all the notifications. Then, at 8 a.m. all purchase orders that have not yet been notified to the supplier will be notified at once. Further down, the File Settings subsection allows you to set up a file that will be attached to the supplier notification email. We will be able to find a file name. In the example, it is order_reference.csv. I will then put the columns names in the file header, the SKU, the quantity and the price. I don't have a specific header for orders. On the other hand, for each products in the purchase order, I will put codes that will allow me to insert the SKU, the quantity, and the purchase price. And finally, I can customize the order footer and the file footer with the dedicated fields. To find out which codes can be used, you can go to the bottom of the Codes Available subsection, where you will find all the available codes. Finally, the last section allows you to set up an FTP server to upload the purchase order file automatically. I go back up and switch to the Products tab, which displays all the products associated with this supplier. We'll get back in a few moments to see how we associate a product with a supplier. The Orders tab will wrap up all the orders I have placed with this supplier with total amount, the status and potentially the percentage of reception. I will skip the other tabs in this presentation, which are for advanced use. So the first way to create a supplier is to create it manually. Typically like we did. However, if I go back to the menu Purchasing, Suppliers, you should know that you can import a file with all your suppliers in bulk. For that you just need to click on the Import button at the bottom right, and in the next screen, you will have all the explanations with all the available fields that will allow you to import suppliers. Once the suppliers have been created in myFulfillment, we will move on to the second part, which consists of associating products with suppliers. Associating a product with a supplier is straightforward. I can do it manually by going to the Products menu. I will then select the product for which I want to make the association, and once in the Product Details page, click on the Suppliers tab, where I can see the suppliers already associated. So in my case I have none, and I will manually create an association. Here I have associated my product with the supplier BoostMyShop. It's not compulsory, but for the demonstration, I'm going to put the purchase price, which will be in the supplier's currency, and also I can add a supplier SKU. The principle is that for this particular product my reference as a merchant is 24MB04, but perhaps my supplier's reference is ShootPack1. We fill in the information, we save, and now the product is associated with the supplier, so the system now knows that I can buy this product from the supplier BoostMyShop. In addition to the purchase price and the supplier SKU, you can enter additional information such as whether the supplier is the primary supplier or not. You can also enter the MOQ minimum order quantity and potentially pack quantities if you buy products in several quantities. Please note that the way to proceed we just saw is not mandatory, as you can place an order with a supplier by adding products that are not originally associated with that supplier. As soon as you add the product to the purchase order, the system will automatically associate the product and the supplier. The second important point is the buying price. This is the default buying price. Let's say you place an order and for some reason the buying price changes, for example to €15 in the purchase order, then myFulfillment will automatically associate the product with the supplier and update this buying price. The third solution for associating products and suppliers is to go to the purchasing menu screen, choose Product Supplier Association. In fact, there are two possibilities: either I can import a CSV file via the Import button at the bottom right, or I can create filters. For example, I take the supplier BoostMyShop and I choose all the products that contains pack. Let's imagine that this corresponds to a range of products. The application filters 5 products. Only the first product is associated with my supplier, and if I want to associate other products with this supplier by bulk, I simply select the Bulk Actions button. I select all the checkboxes and in the Bulk Actions, I click on Associate to Supplier and then Submit. Now, the 5 products that I selected are associated to the supplier BoostMyShop. Thank you for watching this video. I invite you to continue your learning on how to manage your purchases on myFulfillment by watching the following video to know how to manage your supply needs. See you soon on BoostMyShop Academy.